Dad, what are you doing?
Hey kiddos, I thought I'd do something a little different today. Um, Being it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, and I've been married for 30 years, I figured I would just go to ChatGPT and ask it the 5 questions to ask a 30-year married person. So these are the questions that it spit out, and I'm just going to answer them. So, question number one. What does love look like now compared to year one? And just to be honest, I did look at these because I had to print them out. What does love look like now compared to year one? I think year one was just like kind of overwhelming, just like trying to. We were just in an apartment. It was a very busy time, with the whole getting married, and then we decided not to do a honeymoon right afterwards. We went a year later. So yeah, it's just getting used to each other, getting used to the little quirks. But it wasn't bad. It was fun. It was you know we were, just to be blunt, we were kind of ornery. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. We still do. All right, question two. What was the hardest season you went through together, and what helped you survive? The hardest season, I would think, was when I had my brain injury, and I just struggled with. We really didn't know we knew I had a really bad concussion, but we didn't know that my pituitary gland had been crushed, and so not knowing that, my emotions were all over the place. I slept a lot. We dealt with that, and because my thyroid was messed up, your pituitary gland really controls a lot of things. So that being said, yeah, just I think that was probably one of the hardest. I know for me that was one of the hardest seasons that we went through. It was just I hated that my wife had to take care of me so much. All right, so question three. How did you handle disagreements when emotions were high? There was a time in our marriage that uh, things were pretty tense, and so I can remember us not being able to actually talk back and forth, and just because the emotions would get too high, we just didn't really quite understand each other, and so I'm not sure if I came up with this idea or somebody said, told us this idea or whatever, but we, I think it was like for a week or so, we wrote everything down in a notebook, and we would slide the notebook across the table. And then she would read my question or whatever, or I would read her question. But what that did was it gave you time to think about what you wanted to say when you were writing it. That way, it just you didn't fly off the handle. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was great, and we went through some counseling, and yeah, and we stuck it out. So it was difficult, and but we made it through it. We didn't quit, and that was one of our our biggest things was we didn't want to quit. In fact, one of my tattoos, I don't know if we can see that, it says till death, and so um, that's kind of our mantra now, or our motto, or whatever you want to say, is till death, man. And we jokingly say, like, we're gonna stay married until we die, or we one of us kills each other. And I know that's, you know in today's day and age, it's probably not as funny it is to us, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, all right, on to question 4. How did you both grow as individuals without growing apart? And that kind of goes back to the tattoo. We, she accepted me for how I am. I have high functioning autism. And so back in the day, it was called Asperger's syndrome. Now it's just kind of high functioning autism. It's on the spectrum type thing. And then about 9 years ago, 8 years ago, I had a traumatic brain injury. So, to answer the question, how do we both grow as individuals without growing apart? I think we just respected each other's individuality. And with me being the way I am, I'm very creative and she's not. And she'll tell you that. She's just not. And but she loves when I come up with an idea or a plan and or you know, just an idea for a lamp. It doesn't have to be like some crazy vacation or anything. I'm very creative and I love building things. And so I'll come up with this idea and she'll be like, that sounds cool, do it. And so she just lets me express the things that I need to express that are in here. Um, and it's awesome. So she just accepts me for who I am. And I accept her for who she is. She's very much a realistic person. You know, um, she's not much of a dreamer like I am. So, yeah, okay. And the final question: after 30 years, what makes it still worth it? After 30 years, knowing that I have somebody that's got my back, that will take care of me if I'm down, who will try and lift my spirits when I am down. Also, I have a best friend that I don't ever want to lose. I know down the road, you know, one of us is going to go before the other, or, you know, I mean, who knows? Who knows what the plans are, but one of us is going to have to live without the other, and that's going to suck. And for me, yeah, just knowing that I have somebody that's going to be there with me, and not just anybody, my best friend. And so, yeah, so after 30 years, what makes it still worth it? Just knowing that my friend's going to be there. Also, I've never, I try not to let the fire die down in our relationship. There were times when things were rough, but we're now empty nesters. And so, yeah, like we tell the kids, hey, don't come over unless you text us because who knows, we might be running around the house in our underwear or maybe even worse. So, so yeah, so yeah, we want to make the last half or the last quarter or whatever you want to call it of our marriage just lots of fun and then just enjoy it. We don't have lots of money. I'm not talking about flying around the world or going on cruises and all this stuff. We can't afford that kind of stuff, but we still just have fun. And there's nothing wrong with just going for a car ride or going to Dairy Queen and getting an ice cream cone. Just things like that. And yeah. So after 30 years, what makes it still worth it? Um, yeah, I know she would go to war with me if need be. And so just knowing I have somebody that's got my back and that will fight shoulder to shoulder, that's the most awesome feeling ever. So, yeah, I'll let y'all go. Have a great Valentine's Day. Take care.